An ex-girlfriend angry and armed.
It looks like parents believe she might have a shotgun on her.
How a journal entry and a drone helped law enforcement intercept a deadly plan in Maple Valley. A night at the bar turns into 2 weeks in the hospital.
Before you can pull the trigger, I'm reaching for the gun and he's shot.
A Seattle man shot in the chest now describes the encounter that escalated quickly.
These allegations are extremely concerning to the court.
He put the pedal to the metal before deputies put him in cuffs.
Driver's out running northbound.
Why the Thurston County Sheriff calls this man likely the most dangerous driver in the state. Tonight in the Spotlight. I'm so sorry to everyone for everything. Those are the words King County prosecutors say a young woman wrote in her journal right before she set off on a mission of revenge to murder her ex-boyfriend. Good evening and welcome to the Spotlight. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Rose. Detectives say her attempt to kill was caught on camera. And as you're about to see, her plot was foiled thanks to help from her concerned parents, a sheriff's department drone, and the victim's home security system. Security camera video from July 27th shows a hooded figure creeping up to a Maple Valley home armed with a shotgun. King County Sheriff's detectives say 19-year-old Trinity Morley was planning to use it to kill her ex-boyfriend. Concerned about her behavior that night, court documents say her dad called 911.
Requesting us to do a welfare check on his 19-year-old daughter. Looks like she left tent to go graffiti her ex-boyfriend's house.
King County prosecutors say Trinity had a much more sinister intent, writing a message in her journal to her new boyfriend that reads, "I have the gun now, 3 rounds of buckshot. The shotgun is heavy. He told me that if I don't hold it right, my arm will get blown off. I have 3 chances to get this right, and I don't want to resort to knives. I'm sorry I lied to you, Josh." Detectives say she'd gotten the shotgun from him under false pretenses of needing it for self-defense. Worried she was intending to commit murder before dying from suicide by cop, her parents tracked her phone for officers.
It looks like it might be pinging at where your subject's boyfriend actually lives.
As deputies responded to the home, another 911 call came in from her ex-boyfriend's father, who could see a masked figure holding a shotgun and a knife, staring directly at their Ring camera.
Be advised, it looks like we're now getting a disturbance. We got on the line. He's saying there's someone outside with a firearm.
Not expecting to encounter him at the back door, the video shows her turn and slowly walk away. Multiple deputies responded and started searching before a King County Sheriff's drone pilot located her on a private dock, still holding the shotgun and the knife.
You guys can hang back there. You two hang back.
Using de-escalation tactics, one deputy called out to her.
I want to come talk to you, and I want to talk to you privately, but I need you to come step towards me.
It was dark out, so the deputy used her flashlight to signal to her.
I'm the one that wants to come talk to you, but I just need you to step up towards me, okay? That's me. I'm right here.
Trinity eventually put down the gun and knife.
Can I come over to you?
Sure.
Do you mind if I take a look at your hands and your arms?
Sure.
Okay. You can face towards me. Do you have any other weapons on you? Anything else sharp?
No.
Mind if I check?
You can check.
You walk up with me in my car so we can talk? I'm gonna sit you down in here, okay? All right, let's just talk. What's going on tonight?
Court documents say she told the deputy she had gone to the victim's house to kill him and then herself, and that she was upset because she had reported rape allegations against him in May that did not result in charges. A review of the police report showed the detective closed that case as unfounded. Prosecutors who watched the in-car video of her after she was arrested noted that her behavior was eerie, writing that she did not appear to me to be in an emotional state, as one might expect of a person who was claiming to be suicidal just moments before. Screenshots show she was observed smiling, rolling her eyes, even chuckling, telling the deputy who was writing a narrative of events, it's a good story. Deputies located her ex-boyfriend. Turns out he wasn't even home that night. He told them he hadn't spoken to her in months. When they interviewed his father, he said he feared for his life and the lives of his family who had fled upstairs when he saw the figure armed with a shotgun. He said he didn't recognize her because of the mask she was wearing. As she was taken to the King County Jail, the documents say Trinity again rolled her eyes when the deputy asked if she's had any struggles with mental illness. Prosecutors charged Trinity Morley with attempted murder in the first degree. She's being held on $500,000 bail. Well, now take a look at Bryce Lewis. He's accused of breaking into lockers in a gym in Des Moines to steal credit cards and then firing a shot with a stolen gun when one of the victims confronted him. King County Sheriff's detectives in the Criminal Warrant Unit are asking for your help to find him. Lewis is 5'9", 220 pounds. He has several tattoos on his arms. The one on his right arm says FTP. The one on his left arm says mine and has a smiley face. Detectives say Lewis should be considered armed and dangerous. He may have fled to the Portland area. If you know where he is, text an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers through the P3 Tips app for a cash reward of up to $1,000. Bellevue police are hoping you can identify this woman, a suspected accomplice in a jewelry store robbery. Back in November, police say a 16-year-old suspect walked into Porcello Jewelers and said he was shopping for his first nice watch. An employee showed him a $30,000 Audemars Piguet, and that's when the woman rang the doorbell so employees would unlock the door. Instead of walking inside, though, police say she held the door open and waited for the teen to bolt out of the store with the watch. A getaway driver was waiting in the parking lot in a black Dodge Charger. Employees tried to stop the trio from speeding off, but one worker got his hand slammed in the car door. Another had to leap out of the way to avoid getting hit. The police have already arrested the teen suspect and the getaway driver, but they're still trying to identify this woman. If you recognize her, please contact Crime Stoppers. As always, you will remain anonymous. Meanwhile, the suspected getaway driver has been identified as Patrick Masonette. He's also the primary suspect in a high-profile robbery at the Seattle home of rapper Macklemore back in June. Investigators say Masonette and another suspect ransacked Macklemore's home, assaulted his nanny, and stole thousands of dollars worth of personal items. Masonette was in court Thursday for the jewelry robbery, and during that appearance, he gave our camera the middle finger several times. He was charged with second-degree robbery and entered a not guilty plea. Masonette was already being held in jail on $2,265,000 bail for another case. Back in 2023, police say surveillance video shows him and another man tasing and robbing a victim outside a home in Beacon Hill. He was arrested in 2024, but then released on electronic home monitoring. Prosecutors say he cut off his ankle monitor, and he was on the run until late last month when he was arrested in the Macklemore case. A chase in Thurston County ended with a 14-time convicted felon back in jail for the 29th time. Back on August 30th, a fleeing driver blew through intersections at 100 miles an hour and at one point tried to spray pursuing units with a fire extinguisher. That suspect is Andre Lepouliak, and he's facing a long list of charges after his latest arrest. The Spotlight's Nia Wong shows us the multi-agency effort to get him off the streets.
5 license plate boy, Tom David.
You're watching Thurston County deputies go after a driver described as, quote, likely the most dangerous driver in the state, according to Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders.
Martin Way on a silver BMW X5.
Andre Lepouliak is accused of being behind the wheel and leading police, deputies, and troopers through a multi-county chase over the weekend. This is him appearing virtually in front of Judge Allison Zip.
These allegations are extremely concerning to the court.
The Thurston County Sheriff's Office says Lacey police were the first to respond to a vehicle prowl, but Lepouliak took off at triple-digit speeds, sometimes as high as 135 miles per hour, multiple times in I-5, at times in the wrong direction. A Washington State Patrol airplane took flight to keep track of him. Officials say Lepouliak continued to drive recklessly into King County. A deputy crashed chasing after him, and when agencies closed in, they say Lepouliak ran the squad car, tried running away before getting tackled by a trooper.
And you just got him tackled here.
On top of Lepouliak's 14 prior convictions for vehicular homicide DUI, burglary, forgery, and more, he now faces multiple charges, including attempting to elude, reckless driving, felony DUI, possession of a stolen vehicle, among several others.
It is only chance, sheer chance, that there weren't individuals seriously hurt, including potentially yourself.
Lepouliak's bail was set at $100,000, and his arraignment is scheduled for September 9th. For the Spotlight, I'm Nia Wong.
Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders posted on social media shortly after the chase, writing in part, "It is truly astounding that this individual is still out wreaking havoc on our roadways, as it is nothing short of a miracle that he didn't commit his second DUI vehicular homicide tonight." It's now been 1 year since a deadly drive-by shooting in Renton, and detectives are asking for anyone who has information to come forward, even anonymously. This is 20-year-old Merly Herrera Moreno. On September 2nd, 2024, she was shot while she was riding as a passenger in a Toyota on Shelton Avenue. Photos from Renton police show the bullet holes in the car. The driver wasn't hit, but Merly was gravely wounded, so they took off to try to make it to a hospital. The driver spotted an officer and flagged them down for help. Despite life-saving efforts, Merly died. Renton police say they know someone in the community has information that could help bring justice for her and closure for her loved ones. They stress they don't need your name, just a tip identifying the killer or killers. They're urging anyone who saw or heard something that night, who has any details, no matter how small, please come forward. You can do that anonymously through Crime Stoppers. There's a $1,000 cash reward for any information that leads to an arrest. You can submit a tip through the P3 Tips app that you can download to your cell phone for free, or call the hotline 1-800-222-TIPS.
He knew what he was doing, but like, do you really know how to handle a gun? It's sad. It was like limp, like, ooh. And he was right closer than we are.
A Seattle man describing the moment he was shot in the chest. This happened outside a bar in Pioneer Square back in May. The victim is still recovering. He spoke with the Spotlight's Shira Matsuzawa about what led up to that shooting and the moments after.
When I wake up in the morning, I'm sore, and I have to take a whole lot of aspirin.
A daily reminder of a moment that landed Marshall Ellison in a hospital 3 months ago. On May 20th, Marshall was at a bar when he says a man who appeared intoxicated walked in. Marshall helped the staff escort that man out, but later, as he was leaving,
Dude showed up out of nowhere
and pulled out a gun.
Before he can pull the trigger, I'm reaching for the gun and he shot. And I honestly had the gun, and I looked at myself and I thought it was fine.
But he wasn't. He was shot in the chest.
I'm thinking about my son. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. You know, but I was like, it can't be too crazy because I'm still halfway breathing and I'm still awake.
Seattle police say firefighters were already nearby treating a person for pepper spray exposure when they saw the shooting and rushed over. Marshall spent 2 weeks in the hospital and then another 2 weeks on bed rest.
If I could talk to that dude and be like, man, where are you losing hope at in your life where you can make that decision? But the thing is, he wasn't even there. I doubt he even remembers my face.
The entire ordeal only strengthening Marshall's outlook on life and his focus on what's important, his 4-year-old son.
Honestly, it's about little Marshall and making sure I'm there for him, because that's really the only thing I could think of. I was like, what if I'm not there for him?
For the Spotlight, I'm Shira Matsuzawa.
The suspect in this case is Demetrius Green. Prosecutors charged him with second-degree assault, set his bail at $500,000. He posted that bail and was released from jail 1 week after the shooting. Meanwhile, financial pressure forced Marshall to return to work, even though he's still recovering. So a friend started a GoFundMe to help him pay his medical bills and just for basic living expenses. If you'd like to help him, we've got a link at fox13seattle.com. Just click on the Spotlight section under the More tab. You're watching almost $400,000 worth of vintage wine, almost 5,000 gallons of it, spill all over the ground from 2 steel holding tanks. It happened at Sparkman Cellars in Woodinville the night before Thanksgiving back in 2023. And this was no accident. A former worker dumped the wine because he was upset over how much he was paid. Mark Griswold was sentenced on Wednesday. He was charged with burglary second degree, but pleaded guilty to criminal trespass and malicious mischief. The prosecutor outlined his sentence for us and the specifics of his plea deal.
He has to pay restitution in the amount of $49,545, I believe. He has to complete a mental health evaluation within 30 days of sentencing and follow all recommended treatment. The court just issued an anti-harassment order protecting the Sparkmans.
Griswold got into the winery by using the access code on an employee entrance. He was caught on camera wearing a cowboy hat and carrying an umbrella to avoid being recognized. Detectives recovered that umbrella and the other evidence seen in the surveillance video when they searched his home. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office released dash cam video of a high-speed chase that ended with a rollover crash on August 31st. Watch this. A deputy tried to pull over the stolen car, but it took off down Highway 512 at triple-digit speeds. It crashed into a barrier, and then it rolled and rolled and rolled.
It's going to be a rollover collision. Get medical over here immediately.
Confirm your final location.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Police say the car was stolen during a robbery and there was a gun inside when it was found. The 18-year-old driver was taken to the hospital where he underwent surgery. He has not been booked into jail. Deputies plan to forward the case to prosecutors for a charging decision, and then an arraignment date and a summons will be sent to him. Unsolicited help has become a common scam, especially for elderly and vulnerable people. In one case, a veteran in Seattle is out $5 grand after two men offered to work on his roof. The Spotlight's Alejandro Guzman has his warning for others to be on the lookout.
They've totally destroyed the roof, essentially.
What started off with a simple knock at the 83-year-old Navy veteran's home has turned into several weeks of issues with men he says scammed him out of roof repairs.
It's exploitative. They're looking for soft targets.
Richard Lansner has lived in his North Seattle home since 1997. But 2 Thursdays ago, two men offered to help repair two tiles Richie says had daylight coming through. He haggled and agreed to pay $35.
Just to sort of humor him and go away.
But things quickly escalated. The two men with Australian accents identified themselves as Peter and George and brought a crew of 5 workers to inspect Richie's roof, saying he had a structural problem and it would cost the veteran $10,000. Again, he negotiated the price.
It's a verbal contract, $8,500. So I said, okay, well, that's a lot. So I said, I can do that. But again, no cash.
The supposed repairmen were up on his roof. Meanwhile, Peter and George demanded a deposit for equipment rental. That's when Richie got suspicious.
Their faces got sullen when I said, only on the credit card. So they started trying to convince me, well, how about a money line transfer? Well,
the homeowner says they were asking for a 6-figure sum.
And I said, absolutely not.
By then, Richie says it was too late. The scammers left behind piles of shingles, nearly a dozen trash bags filled with a third of his home's roofing materials, and a giant pile of wood in his backyard.
I just told them, it's over, you've got to restore this. And that's when I think they got the signal to make themselves scarce.
The men and their crew took off, leaving behind extensive roof damage.
And I can see daylight up through my bathroom. Catastrophic. Vandalism. Malicious vandalism. Because there's no dialing this back.
Richie has filed a report with Seattle Police and notified his home insurance. His deductible is $5,000, and he's concerned as we head into winter months. The veteran is mindful of the vulnerability older adults face and hopes sharing his encounter will help prevent others from becoming victims.
Make sure that it's unsolicited and vetted completely from the gut. Otherwise, just tell them they're not welcome.
Richie urges homeowners to go through insurance networks or vetted contractors, but he does have a clear message for his scammers.
Well, I would hope I would see them in court, and I would tell the judge, whatever you do in addition to that, put them on an ankle bracelet or monitor or something like that while they're doing restitution.
For the Spotlight, I'm Alejandra Guzman.
The King County Sheriff's Office is hoping one of you watching right now can identify these women. The pair are accused of stealing hundreds of dollars of items from a CVS in Burien. The theft happened on August 7th. One suspect described as a black woman with red braids wearing a white shirt and blue jeans. The other suspect is white with brown hair in a ponytail, wearing a blue hoodie and black leggings. If you recognize either of these suspects, please submit a tip to Crime Stoppers. The Washington State Criminal Justice Training Center recently held a special event. It was an unforgettable day for more than a dozen kids. Photojournalist Taylor Murray shows us the new sheriffs in town.
We are celebrating a bunch of kids who were chosen by their police departments to be chief for a day. I know a lot of these kids have a lot of struggles, and Andy himself, and so it means a lot to be recognized maybe outside of that.
This is such an important event for community as well as law enforcement.
I'm not here to talk about police work. I'm here to talk about chief for a day, because 15 years ago I was one of the little chiefs up here when I was 10 years old. Diagnosed with an arteriovenous malformation. Best case scenario, I would have gone blind with where it was located, and worst case scenario, I could have died.
You're chief animal. You're chief animal. See? This is on your badge.
I remember just seeing a bunch of, just so many people come together to try to make the kids' day just a little better and distract them a little bit from like how hard their struggles are right now. And I'm just hoping, that these kids can have as good of a day as I had.
Yeah. He just remembers that of kind of just a day of exploring all the things that are kind of just for them.
I'm gonna pet him.
It definitely impacted the way I view police work and view cops in general, and just made me realize, being a cop is more than just about, enforcing the law and driving fast and catching the bad guys. It's about, actually caring about people and doing just the little things to show them you care.
Love those smiles. That does it for us tonight on The Spotlight. Until next time, I'm David Rose. Please stay safe.